Hello, my name is Chaz Kayada. Welcome back to my channel. Today is actually the first video that I'm recording in 2026, so it's kind of exciting. This should be the year that I hopefully finish my dissertation. So as you guys have been keeping up, I'm going through each chapter, giving you guys updates. I just finished chapter 1, moving on to chapter 4 very soon, and it's exciting. So today's video, I'm going to be discussing the costs of getting a degree online through American College of Education, just in case there's people out there that are interested in knowing what the costs are. I know my video on just a general review of ACE is the video that has the most um, views out of all the videos that I have. So I know that there are people out there interested in understanding more about American College of Education. So so I wanted to go over the cost. So first, right out the gate, it is one of the most cost-effective online universities that you can attend. Um, there are many different reasons for that. One being there are no physical offices. I'm sorry, there's no physical classrooms. There may be physical offices, but there's no physical classrooms where students meet. So overhead is lower. Many of the classes that you're going to take follow a very similar scripting term to term. Some of the videos are the same. It's really designed to be more plug and play. You get a new teacher of record in the class, but really all of the materials are the same. Now, that being said, there are potentially some changes you might have term to term, especially as I've seen in the dissertation chapters. They have changed some things term to term, and I have actually also seen that in a few other classes. So it's not to say that you take a class this year and next year students will have the exact same class, but much of this stuff is already set out, and you just have to go in and watch the videos that are prepared, do the assignments that are prepared, and then the teacher of record just grades that. So overhead is lower, and that helps the college be far more cost effective for the students rather than going to a brick and mortar. I mean, I have seen other online colleges out there that do have less expensive degrees, but there's always caveats with that. In the instance of many of them, in order to get the reduced cost, you're transferring in a lot of credits, or it's only like a limited number of classes that you get a discounted rate. The good thing about ACE is that your cost is pretty much your cost. There are a few discounts in there that we'll talk about, but for the most part, pretty much what you're going to be paying. You're not going to have any crazy jumps in tuition or anything like that. So just right out the gate, the cost of a credit at ACE. For a bachelor's degree, there are a couple bachelor's degrees. I think there's literally only two. So it's not a big focus of the college. Most people are coming to ACE for master's and doctorate programs, but bachelor's is $215 per credit hour. Moving up to master's, it's not a big jump. It's $235 per credit hour. So compare that, especially for masters. I mean, a lot of master's programs that I was looking at, different schools, even online schools were like $500-$600. Some even as high as $1,000 per credit hour. And then the doctoral, you do get a little jump here, but it's still very manageable. $306 per credit hour. So very, very manageable. And I also want to note, ACE does allow you to transfer in a certain number of credits. So for instance, my master's, I transferred in 12 hours from a teacher certification program I had done. And so the teacher certification program was pretty expensive, but being able to transfer in 12 hours, well, you look at that, I mean, that's, over 2,000, almost $3,000 I saved in tuition by being able to do that. And then if you do the master's program at ACE, I know for a fact that they'll let you transfer in up to 18 hours towards your doctorate. So once again, that's that's almost $6,000 right there that you can take off of what you're going to pay. So right there, it's very, very cost effective. And I know that they do accept transfers from other colleges and universities as well. So you're already starting off pretty well. There are some fees and some taxes. So let's talk about in the middle of me going to ACE, I think it was last year, they had determined that they needed to start charging tax depending on what state you lived in. I don't know, the laws behind that, why they needed to start doing that and why it happened last year, but I think it was something like $15 more that got added on to my bill per credit hour, something like that. Don't quote me on it. I could be wrong on the exact number. I'm just saying off the top of my head, I want to say that's how much, but it is going to vary per state. I don't think that's a universal tax for every state. I think it does vary. Okay, so application fee is $100, although I think it's $50 for the bachelor's and maybe $50 for the master's, but I think the doctorate is $100. But it can be potentially waived. I know, I think it was my doctorate was waived because I was a graduate of ACE, so there could be some money that you save right there. When you graduate a program, there's a $150 conferral fee. And then if you want to participate in graduation, there is you need to get your robes. So that could run. I've seen some people buy their robes online through Amazon, and I think it's less than $200 if you do that. Although I think ACE does have someone that they work with, and that might be like $600 or $700. But most people that I've seen do the Amazon version. But make sure you're buying the right one. So you can expect to spend a few $100s with that. I didn't, pardon me, I didn't do the graduation for my master's for two reasons. One, I didn't really see a reason to fly up to Indiana for the master's and pay that money now. And because of the second reason being that I was already planning on doing the doctorate, and I knew that I'm going to do that in the future anyway, so it just didn't make sense to do it twice. So, all right, so the conferral fee for graduation is $150. Okay, so tech fee. When I first started at ACE, I want to say the tech fee was like $30 or $40. So that I think I started 4 years ago. The years are just kind of so it has gone up. Now it is, I think, $59 per credit hour for doctorate, and then $54 for bachelor's and master's, somewhere around there. And so that has gone up a little bit, but I'm only talking about maybe $15, $20 in 4 years. So nothing crazy. I have not seen a significant change in the tuition since I've been there. I mean, obviously there's a jump from master's tuition to doctoral tuition, but I don't think it's changed in the time that I've been there. And if it has, it's probably not changed that much. But that could also mean that there is going to be a change in the future because it hasn't gone up. But once again, ACE is trying to give you the lowest prices, so the most competitive tuition. So I wouldn't expect a big jump there. If you are going to do a doctoral program, there is an additional $200 per dissertation class. So that is like, for instance, I'm taking, I just paid the tuition for next term. So since chapter 4 is just one, it's just one class. So I'm paying for it's 1 credit hour. So I'm paying for 1 credit hour of tuition. Then I'm paying for the $200 dissertation fee, and then I'm paying tax. So I maybe the tech fee isn't included in dissertations, or it might be actually, because I think I have a discount. Yeah. So you have the tech fee in there as well. So that's all the things that you could pay. Oh, and one last thing, and this isn't to ACE. This would be external to ACE, but it is required through ACE. You are required to have an editor for the dissertation. The editor that I have right now, she charges $250 per chapter as of now, and I may have been grandfathered in since I got her last year. But you can expect around those prices per chapter. ACE only requires you to do that in chapter 5, so technically for me I wouldn't have to have done it until later on in the spring, but having an editor has really helped me like take a deep breath and relax during these chapters, because they're already so stressful. So for me it was worth paying $200 per term, $250 per term, to have the editor. If you wait till chapter 5, from what I understand, you'd end up only paying somewhere between $600 and $800 for the whole dissertation. So you would save anywhere between $300-400 waiting to chapter 5, but you wouldn't have the benefit of them helping you during the earlier chapters. And then on top of that, you'd have to pay all of that at one time. Whereas my editor, I'm kind of paying her as I go, which is a big help. So I did mention discounts. So the discount, I know that the one that I use is I get a discount for being an ACE alum. So because I graduated with the master's before I moved on to the doctorate program, I get a discount. And so that everything helps, right? ACE does offer, there are a number of other discounts. That the only one I have is the graduate one. So you'd have to kind of look and see if there are, military discounts or first responder discounts, anything like that. You'd have to go and double check, because I haven't really looked into that as much, because that's not something I would be eligible for. And then, okay, also there are scholarships. Now, I've applied for scholarships most terms, and I have not gotten one yet. Well, and at this point, I'm not gonna get one. I only have 2 terms left, and I don't even know if scholarships. I don't even think I can get a scholarship for the dissertation courses. But essentially, they are available. How much there is in terms of like allotment, I don't know for sure, but there's something like 10 to 15 total scholarships available. And so, that is something you definitely would want to check into. I applied as many times as I could. Even though I didn't make it, it was still worth it just in case. If it was only $500, so be it. I mean, that would be great still. It's $500 more dollars in my pocket. And I also have seen a couple terms ago, I did see something about for the doctoral program, ACE was looking for doctoral students to help with being a assistant and for some of the previous courses. And I think if you did that, you got a free hour of tuition. So that could be $300 saved there. That might be far too time consuming for someone to be worth $300 or whatever it was. It might have been $500. So it was somewhere around there. But if you do have some extra time, maybe that's worth it to you. So overall, those are the things that you can expect to pay for with American College of Education. it's very affordable. I mean, if you, and especially if you can work at a place that reimburses you, that would be awesome. I do not get reimbursed, so you know, all this is out of pocket for me. So you know, doing the things like scholarship, looking for scholarships, looking for discounts, and even just looking for the lowest tuition in general up front was very, very important. So you know, well, really, that's what I wanted to go over. I think I hit all the points that I wanted to go over. So if you have any questions, if I missed something, or I know sometimes I can kind of ramble, if I missed anything and you want to know, just go ahead and put it in the comments below. I really enjoy every time I look at my profile and I see that I have a new comment. It's awesome. I love that you guys are out there, you know, thinking about increasing your education, increasing the job opportunities you can have because of looking at advanced degrees. So that's really awesome. I love the community that we're starting to have, and I think at this point I think I'm over 50 subscribers. So I guess that's awesome. Okay, well, thank you guys for listening today, and have a happy 2026.